Now we're going to pick up with custom fields and URL mapping. So we're going to create fields that interact with each other, and based upon one value, it's going to reset the next value of the next field on the back end for content publishers on the back end. So what I have done is I just uploaded 3 custom field files over here that I'm going to .parse. So let me actually get and if Adam, you could be so kind as to type into the GoToWebinar the names of 2 high schools, maybe one for yourself and one that someone else in the room attended. If you could type that into the area of the GoToMeeting control panel, then we will use those in our little experiment here. And so I'm going to .parse these files from my custom fields, and I'll show you what they do. So let me show you how to .parse, and then I don't need that. Inside of one of my fields on a new content type that I made during the little break here. So if we look at content types, there are 2 different content types. One's called schools. That's just a one-word school name text field. That's it. And then the other one is school parking registration. And then it's got title so far, a position at the school, and then we're going to add 3 custom fields. The first of which, if I click add new, and this is just you watch, right? You don't have to do anything here. This powerful little custom field right here. And this one is going to be called school title. And I'm going to .parse the school title VTL. Sure, and save. All right. So then let's look and see what this guy's doing so far. But first, I want to go to my schools and enter a few schools, or we'll have nothing here. So if I type in school, there's schools. Add new content, and I'm going to copy out Roundwood Park Secondary School. I'm going to add that and save and publish. And Queen Elizabeth School. So we'll add those. And I'll add my own alma mater. Osceola High School for the Osceola Indians in Seminole, Florida that never surrendered to the U.S. government. We will then go to the school parking registration. And then if I go to add a new school parking registration, then I should be able to, in addition to giving a title to, my request, I should be able to click here on school title and see live in real time the content coming from that other content type. Okay, so then I'm able to pick a school, and I'll call this Osceola staff teacher parking space request. Okay, and we'll go ahead and store this as staff, I guess. Or if there was a teacher, then I think it would be faculty, right? And save and publish. And if we open that back up again, then we see that Osceola High School sticks, right? So that's one field. And the first example I thought that might be important is how do I get other fields? Like if I'm adding an employee, how do I get all the departments that exist at the current second, in the system? So grabbing other fields. And now, what if you want to react to a prior, and then we'll get into the code fields. What if you want to react to maybe this faculty setting, and then I want to display the parking spaces that are available if you are a faculty member as opposed to a student or whatever. So then we will go back to our content type and go to school parking registration. I'm going to just copy out that .parse for that field. And I almost always mess up on this one, so bear with me here for 1 second. Custom field. I think this one should be named parking type. And parking type. Is that let me just double check my browser on my file name. Browser and custom fields. It's capital P. I was about to mess up already. And required use searchable show unless sure. Okay, so with that custom field there, then as long as I don't have things named improperly, which I usually do, then I should be able to come over here and open up this same thing and of course get an error. All right, let's see what I did not do right. Parking type VTL. I always need to mess around with this guy. All right, ID parking type students. Parking type students. A position at school, which that should be the variable for the content type. Position at schools. Why did I do that? You know what? I'm just going to redo my, it's easier. So let me go to my content type, and instead of position at schools, you fool, I'm going to cancel, delete, okay, add field. I don't know what, the thing curses me. Select, and this time type it right, position at school. Yes. Okay. School title, position at school. Go back to my content, see if I can open it up. And then if I am a student, okay, then I get student zone A. If I am a faculty member, then I get faculty zone D and E. If I'm a staff member, then I get these three. So just showing you how to interact with another field. That's my second example. So parking type senses and resets using JavaScript based upon whatever you've put in this select. School title grabs content from a totally different content type, displays them in real time, saves, and so now let me make sure. If it was a teacher parking space, I say faculty, and then I'll choose faculty zone E, okay, is where I would like to park. And then I will be assigned a space, I guess. And lock for editing, save and publish. I just always like to verify that, yeah, okay, so it's stuck. So now it's actually getting the dojo ID of the field, loading it on load. So all that's good. And then we can see the on changes affecting as well. Okay, the last example, I thought, well, what if you want to know who the person is logged in on the back end and we want to change or show or hide or do something based upon the role that they have. Maybe we don't want to show all the fields, okay? Or we want to set a value inside a field. I did the simplest one, which is just setting a value inside a field. So let's do that. Go to types and tags and school parking registration, add our last field, and then we'll take a look at those files. And we're going to add another custom field, right? And this one will be called named parking space. Okay, and then we're going to, oh, that's not what I wanted. Content types, school parking registration, parking type, copy that, paste it here, and this one is going to be named parking space all caps. And it should just say no whenever I look at my content, because I don't have the role that allows me to, yep, it says no for me. Do I get a named parking space? No. Lock for editing, save and publish, open it up, still says no. Okay. Now, what if I add a new one and choose school title Queen Elizabeth High School, and I happen to be Queen Elizabeth? I think she would definitely demand a administrator parking space. So right now it's not, it'll allow me to request the administration zone. I'll pick zone J, and but it's still saying no. So we need to adjust the role of the user that I'm currently logging in as and say, okay, Queen Elizabeth, whenever she logs in, she's going to get a administration role that automatically gives her a named parking space in the request. So I'm going to save and publish this for now. And then I'm going to alter the user that we are all logged in as so that then it'll say yes for everyone, because we're all logged in as the same user. So I'm going to go to roles and tools. If we look in my code, named parking space, sensing the user, the CMS user, get user by user ID, session.get attribute user ID. If found that the user is set on the back end, there's a different way to get the user with just $user on the front end. But if CMS user is user role, pass found user, and then administration. So I need to create a new role that has exactly that and then give it to our user. Right? Just wanted to show you why we're doing it. So I'm going to, from the roles and tabs tool here, I'm going to add role, and I'm going to call it administration, key administration. Yeah, all that good stuff. And then I'm going to go to my user. We are all logged in as the admin user. And here I've got the new role now that I can add. We're logged in as CMS administrator. We don't have yet the new role called administration. I will move that over. Now I have the role administration. I click save. And now, and let me see, is my code asking for a lowercase administration? Let's see. And we'll change it if we need to. So now whenever I come to the content search manager and I open up Queen Elizabeth, still says no. So I think I must have messed up on the camel casing there like I thought, or the casing there like I thought. And let me go back to roles and tools. Let me edit this guy, change it to all lowercase, A, and save. Go to content search, open up Cleaner Elizabeth, and now why? Why? Let me look at that VTL file. Named parking space if found. Oh, it is all uppercase. Okay, copying that. And roles and tools. Maybe I have to log out. I probably have to log out and log back in again. That's what it is. It's not going to pick up my new role. So I'm going to edit this guy. I would probably do that. Save. And now let me log out. Remember me, log back in. And that shouldn't have affected anything, I don't think. Because I did log out. And come on. Still saying no. Yeah. System roles users. I am logged in. Who am I? Definitely admin at dotCMS.com. Oh, whenever I edited it, it didn't allow me to be there, right? Why does it have no checkbox? Because I do have that. Checkbox. Move it over. I have administration. Save. Let me clear my browsing data. Clear data. I'm going to totally quit Chrome. Admin. It's whenever I add new content. I think my code just stinks in there. New content. Yeah, okay, there we go. I already had the stored value, and I didn't in my code. I remember now. I didn't make it fancy enough to actually do a reset if your user role had changed. But they were getting the user, so now I'll, say important person and select Roundwood Park, administrator, administration zone I, save and publish, and she gets her name parking space, and it does retain even after the save. I could have made my code smarter, but I didn't. Okay. So this is how to get the to find the CMS user on the back end. If you were on the front end and we were on a front end page, then it would be just user. Okay. So and then you could spit out literally user. If they're logged in, then it's going to give all the properties of the user, the first name, the last name, the email, and stuff like that. And then you can test to see if the user is logged in. And so I'm getting the user ID, session.get attribute user ID. And then if found user is logged in on the back end, what is their user role? And then we're getting our set park value equals yes or set park value equals no. And then you'll see I try to put some commenting here on the files. And by the way, once again, dotCMS.com. Resources, online courses, web developer, and if we look at custom fields, custom code fields, you're going to see the same demonstration that I did just now and these files right there for you to download. Okay, so you don't need to take any intense notes on what we're doing. This entire course is recorded for you. Files are downloadable from here. You can watch it again, see how I'm constructing the content types. So sit back and relax. And so let me look at the code now. So anytime you want to, get a value, we already have Dojo installed, and it's better than trying to do any extension to use, jQuery or something like that. Later on, we will probably move off of Dojo and do some cool Angular stuff. But right now, still, the best way to get a value of a field that has been set on the back end is probably still the Dojo ID. If you want to play around with the REST APIs and do everything through Angular, that's great. I don't have any of those examples to share with you yet, and I don't understand Angular well enough to be able to do that. So you'd probably have to rely on somebody who's smarter than me in your team. Here with the variable I'm setting, current value equals Dojo by ID named parking space, right? Dot value. And here, my commenting is, only set the data to be set if it is a new record. Then this code will run if current value equals null, current value undefined, or current value equals, blah, nothing. Then Dojo ID, and supply the park value set up here with no user. And I don't have like an on change. So I don't just display a value. That's why Queen Elizabeth won't get her parking spot. So here in the parking type VTL, I'm supplying these different lists of parking spaces based upon what is set in the position at school select. And here, if position at school is student, then give them parking type students, which is right up here, right? This list. If position at school equals faculty, so if in the previous select list they had selected faculty, then get the faculty list. I think you get the idea, right? And then for our current parking type, set the select with the initial value. And then show the required select. And then get the value of the select field, the parking type. And then get or hide the select field based upon the position type. And here I'm doing digit by ID, parking type students, parking type faculty, staff. And here at least I was nicer. And if position at school changes, then dojo.add onload function, set parking type value true, dojo connect, digit by ID, position at school on change, set the custom parking type value. Right. So it's just JavaScript, other than the digit by ID, and Dojo by ID, which if you look up Dojo, then you can grab out a lot of this stuff on your own. And then the named parking space, the school title is even easier. Just displays a select list of schools based upon the school structure or content type. And here I'm just doing select ID, fake ID, dojo, digit.form, filtering select on change, set custom value, doing a for each loop and iterating in velocity over the names of the schools, and then doing the setting the option value there, getting the value of the selected field, sets the custom field in case the field was called school title. So digit by ID school title dot value equals what we set over here, and dojo unload set the custom value. All right, nothing fancy there at all. Okay, and we've already seen one other custom field, which was the URL title, right? That one is grabbing the whatever you said in the title of our movie, and it's stripping out the spaces and the special characters and all that good stuff. And it is making the URL map pattern unique. Okay, there is one other custom field here on a content type called media that does a show and hide. So if you want to take a look at that one, there's two different custom fields. If you ever want to do a show and hide, there's media location and media type. And between these two, what it's doing is you have a little radio button here. Oh, okay. Let's see if I add new content. Well, I thought this was fixed. Maybe it's just a browser thing in Chrome. Okay. I think it's fixed in our latest version, but if I just went to add new media content, no, maybe our demo version. Demo. And if it doesn't work here, then I'll just stop. Media, add new content. Okay, good. So it's working on our demo site. So here, if you have, and I think demo site's just 4.2.3 or something like that. I have just a little bit of an older version that's got a little bug in here that affects our file. So if I click on upload file or link to external file, then it's going to show or hide this next field. So here we've got upload file. It says media file. If I click on link to external file, it hides the other one and then allows you to type into a URL and shows that field. I click back over here, URL is going to disappear and it's going to allow us to choose a file. So based upon whether you're uploading files or linking to external files, it hides or shows you the next field. And those are all the different examples. I can think of something that's just like commonly useful. And of course, you can look at the custom field code there that's just doing the hide on the dojo ID of that media file field on the content type or showing the URL field. And that should get you a long way just by looking at those files that are available for download from the online courses, and it's just JavaScript from there once you get the hang of showing, setting, on change setting, loading with your dojo by ID. And, whenever we try to get, a field with using the dojo by ID or the digit by ID, then we're just getting basically the velocity variables for that field in the content type.